Hey everybody, Sam here from Sugar Spun Run, and today I'll be showing you how to make classic gingerbread. This is one of my family's favorite holiday recipes. My mom has been making it as far back as I can remember. It comes from a really old cookbook of hers, and today I'm really excited to be sharing this recipe with you. The first thing you'll want to do to get started is preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, you will need 1/2 cup or 1 stick of unsalted butter, and this should be softened to room temperature. We'll add this to a large bowl, and we'll also add a 1/2 cup of tightly packed dark brown sugar. Next, we'll use an electric mixer to beat these together until they're nice and creamy. The next thing you're going to need is 1 cup of molasses. This is going to give your gingerbread a really great, rich flavor. Now the molasses should say unsulphured right on the label. I just use Grandma's brand of molasses. Most grocery stores should carry this. Make sure I get all of that in there. You don't want to miss out on any of that great molasses flavor. Now we'll use our electric mixer to beat together our molasses with our butter and sugar. At this point, we'll add 1 large egg and a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and we'll stir everything together again until it's nicely combined. So at this point, you'll want to use a spatula or a spoon to just scrape the sides and bottom of the bowl. You want to make sure that these ingredients are really well incorporated before you move on. And you might notice that the mixture looks a little piecey or sandy. That's totally fine. Everything's going to come together really well when we add our dry ingredients, so don't panic. Now we can set our liquid ingredients aside, and we are going to need a separate bowl for our dry ingredients. You'll need 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, and we'll add a 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. And now we'll add our spices. You'll need a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a teaspoon of ground ginger, and a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves. We will also add 3/4 teaspoon of salt. And then we'll stir these ingredients together until they're really nicely combined. Now we're going to add this flour mixture to our molasses mixture, and you can use a spatula or an electric mixer to stir everything together until it's nicely combined. And I'll usually add my flour mixture gradually, that way it's not a really difficult to mix batter, so I'll just add it in about 2 or 3 parts. And always you want to make sure that you're scraping the sides and the bottom of your bowl so that everything is really nicely combined. This is getting pretty thick, so I am going to switch over to my electric mixer just to make sure I get everything nicely combined. So our batter is looking pretty good at this point, but there's still one more ingredient that we need to add, and that is 1 cup of boiling water. So this water was just boiled, it's very hot. I'm going to add it very carefully to my batter. And you want to be very careful when stirring this in because obviously the water's really hot. Any splatter that happens is going to burn you. So be very careful. Either use a spoon or a spatula to very gently work the water in, or use your mixer on a low setting. Just be careful when adding the hot water. I'm going to use my electric mixer on a low speed. And I'll use my spatula to make sure that we get the sides and the bottom of the bowl. So at this point, our gingerbread batter is nice and silky smooth. Everything is really well combined, and so we are ready to bake our gingerbread. You're going to need a 9x9 pan for this recipe, and I've lined mine with parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can grease and flour the pan instead. I just like using parchment because cleanup's easier and you can lift the gingerbread out of the pan when it's finished baking and cut it easier that way. So I'm going to just pour the batter into this pan. And now we will bake this in our 350 degree Fahrenheit oven for about 35 to 40 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean or with a few moist crumbs. Keep in mind that if you're using a glass pan instead of a metal one, it's probably going to take longer to bake. And that is all there is to making your own homemade, completely from scratch gingerbread. This recipe is so good, it's so moist and flavorful. I think you are going to love it. It is perfect for holiday baking. If you guys tried this one out, please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time.